Right, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. In 1963, the first shuttle went off into outer space with the same power as a calculator. Now, in present day, you walk around with that same technology and even more inside your pocket. So we understand how these things work, but sometimes we don't always realize how we got to this point or why it wasn't always there. So me and my wife basically purchased two Galaxy S9s from T-Mobile recently. They had a promotion going on where you could get two phones for basically half off and for free. So I was like, why not? But I didn't understand exactly what I was getting into or what those devices actually did. So I did a little bit of research, and I'd like to inform you guys about the research I did, and hopefully you guys can pass it on to the future. All right, so I compiled a bunch of different sources from LG, Lenovo, Samsung, and other companies so I could give you guys a good speech about design, artwork, a little bit of visual animation, and virtual reality. But we're going to start off with art and design. So I guess I want to start off with how art and design has always been a part of the human essence. How we use colors and shapes to basically shape how you can communicate, attract people, and just overall influence people to do better things in life. So, one thing that I guess came from the art and design of the mobile era is the iPhone. It was announced in 2007 by Steve Jobs, and his remarks were very ambitious because what he was trying to do was basically make a similar device, a similar phone that had similar parts from other developers, but combine it with his own unique software so people could use it, have their own unique experiences, and be happy with it, you know? But at the end of the day, when he made those things, he had a similar camera. It was a little bit better than most. He had similar, framework, how it was designed and looked, which made it more affordable. But at the same time, when people bought it, they didn't buy it for those things. They bought it because he was putting his name on the line for it. And in putting his name on the line, he made something influential, something revolutionary for people. One of the things that Apple does is they make closed app software. And basically what this does is it gives people the reality that, okay, you can use these apps, but this really controlled by Apple, which makes it a closed community of, like a koi pond that you can see and it looks very good, but at the same time, it's all enclosed and it looks beautiful from afar. One of the apps that they had was 123D, which is an application made by Pinoco's app development. And what it does is it allows you to create different things, like say you wanted to create your apartment and how it looked by a square inch. The different things like the couch, the computer table, or you could create your own car. And say if you were talking to your insurance company because it just held like a week ago, you could use it to basically display where it held on your car and the exact spots and how it would look so that they can see it from their phones as well. So one thing that happened in the future is that some of these developers, they became universal, which made them available for Androids. So on the Android side of things, you got Samsung, which started off as a simple trading company, but they developed into something more. They started to have their own medical research teams, and they got into the mobile business around the 1990s. So what happened with them was they created a more open software, which was developed for anyone who wanted to just make their own little things, to start their phone with Mario, to just add anything that you wanted to it. And it created a more available software for people, so they used that one a lot more than Apple at the time. But now it's kind of like a who's who at the moment. One of the things that came with Samsung was that not only did they make their own open software, but they also made other parts for those same companies. So LG, Lenovo, iPhone, and Apple and their companies, they use the same software that Samsung has, and Samsung actually supplies them with things like LED screens, or OLED, by the way, which is just a different type of light display that you use on your phones today. And it might be displayed differently from the software. You might see it as different, but it's the same, similar parts. Next thing I would like to talk about, well, want to start off by saying that we've talked about graphic design, how it kind of correlates to how people see things. Now I want to branch off into visual animation. And today, if you guys watch TV, you can see how ads basically, they go and they talk about how these different mobile apps, they kind of jump over and they show, hey, you want this new iPhone, it has all these unique little things that you might want to see, you might want to have for yourself. They communicate and they help consumers want to buy these things every year. But that's one of the hurdles, is basically that you have to buy a $700 phone every year. And it's kind of hard to actually pitch that as an advertiser. But one of the things they do is they make it more personalized. So when you buy these devices, you actually see it and you're like, oh wow, when I have that device, I can make it mine. One of the things that comes with making something like your own is saying it how making it unique is its own little different way of making things work. So you can have, say, something like a simple phone app, or say something like emojis, which is something that's simple today. It started off as just happy faces and frowny faces, but it led off into something where you can turn your own image and your own face into something you can communicate to others. And that's one of the things that has become more present in today's phone app and the phone arena, you could say. Another thing is slow-mo camera settings. So when you watch different sporting events, sometimes like soccer, you see someone kick a ball and they start off the game. But with an iPhone or another Android device, you can basically slow down the action and make it seem as if you can see everything, how climactic, how explosive it looks to see someone kick off a ball to start off a game, how much energy they use, and just it makes it just all the more impressive when you see it. So I talked a little bit about visual animation and how that looks, but what about the future? What does it really hold, and what do you guys see for the future? One of the things that I see in the future is virtual reality. What if I could say you could basically show yourself on the moon, walking on the moon, or at your favorite place around the world, a virtual little vacation at Tahiti, something like that. Well, some of that is actually possible today with virtual reality. It started off as something just basically with, a certain camera app where you could use and track where your head is going. And the OLED screens make it more possible because it creates a more immersive display. It makes it more just easier to see yourself into it. So with virtual reality, the present is more possible. You can see different things like where it came from, but at the end, from 10 years from now, I can see kids using the same software to basically, hey, they can play these games that they usually play today, but not lose track of where they are around you or around everyone else in the world. And in a world like that, I not only want to see how these things work and how they just transform and evolve, but I want to understand how they work. And I guess when you guys want to as well. So my name is Quinvario Curry, and that's the end of my speech of informing you guys on mobile phones. Thank you. All right.